Hello cuties, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my labour experience and what I went through in labour and how difficult or easy it was. If I look exactly the same as what I did in my previous video, it's because I'm literally filming this on the same day. I decided to just get them both done whilst it was all fresh in my brain, because I feel like genuinely I forget stuff so easily now. If you would like to hear about my labour experiences, then just keep watching. Don't forget to hit a like if you enjoyed the video and subscribe if you would like to see more of me, and I will see you guys in the video. So when I initially went into labour, I actually didn't know I was in labour. I was awake throughout the night thinking I was in pain, but this video, disclaimer right now, is going to be a little bit TMI, so if you're weirded out by certain things, I wouldn't really recommend you watching this video. However, if you are like pregnant and you want to know like what you may experience throughout your labour, then yeah, just be prepared, you've been warned. So when I was in labour, I was in labour in the morning, but I actually did not know, and I mean like really early hours of the morning. I was awake from like 1 o'clock in the morning with seriously bad pains in my stomach, but at the time I didn't know what it was. I genuinely thought I was a little bit constipated, because you do get that throughout pregnancy, but I was lucky and I didn't suffer with that at all. So that's what I thought I might have been experiencing now. And I was 2 days overdue with Aurora before I gave birth, obviously. That's what I thought, and then basically I was sat in bed and I kept getting out of bed to try and go to the toilet. Obviously nothing was happening because that was not what I needed. And then basically I crawled onto the landing in absolute agony because I just didn't know what was going on, and I sort of curled up into a ball and was in a lot of pain. And my mum shouted at me because we were staying at my mother's house until our house was sorted, because we are in our house now. I think we stayed at my mum's for about 2 weeks ish. So my mum shouted to me, "Are you okay? How are you feeling?" And I was like, yeah, I'm fine, because I'm really not one that likes attention around me. I'm sort of like a suffer in silence kind of person. So I went back into my room and I was going to go back to bed with my boyfriend. I slept at the wall and he like slept on the end of the bed, but I couldn't physically get back into bed. So I sat on the end of the bed and I actually woke him up by accident. And he woke up and he was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I'm like rocking, like naturally just rocking. I didn't know why I was doing it. And my mum heard like the bed like creaking. Nothing weird was going on. And she like come in, knocked on the door and like come in. She was like, "Are you okay?" And I just burst out crying. I was like, "I don't know what's wrong with me." And she was like, how are you feeling? And I told her, and she was like, "Well, it could be time." And at that point I thought I would be really scared, and I really was not scared at all. It was like adrenaline and excitement was just fueling me. So my mum rang my sister, because my sister's really good with stuff like this. She's really good, like if someone is in pain, she's really good at not feeling empathy, which I know sounds really horrible, but it's really what you need for like the starters of labour. So she come round, and at this point it's about 8 o'clock in the morning, and she's come round and I'm in pain downstairs, like leaning over the settee with like a pillow at my knees, because my mum has like hardwood floors. So I'm leaning over the settee and she's like, "Let's start timing your contractions." And I was like, okay. So she's timing them, and they are fairly like, they're coming about at a regular time. So I think at the start, when she started timing me, mine were 10 minutes apart, but only lasting for about 20 to 30 seconds, which really wasn't that bad. And my labour pains weren't as excruciating as I thought they would be. I thought they were going to be awful, but they really weren't. But that's not to say like another person's pain isn't excruciating to the point where they can't physically take it. I was just really lucky and was able to manage my pain quite well. I made sure I was breathing properly through every contraction, because that really did help me. So she was timing them, and then basically it got to the point where just leaning down and sat trying to breathe through the contraction wasn't doing anything for me. I was in pain a lot more. So my mom said to me, we can go to the hospital, however it is better for you to stay at home for as long as possible because you're more comfortable. There's not everyone like faffing around you, no one's telling you what to do, you can just chill, do your own thing for as long as physically possible. So I was like, well, what can I do to help it, to like numb the pain? And she was like, well, jump in a warm bath, it will just help, like it does with a period pain. I don't know whether you've ever done it before, if you've had like a hot bath or a hot shower, it just numbs like the pain. So I did, I went and got in the bath, and that really did help. My contractions were a lot easier to manage, as well as me like breathing through them. My sister is still timing me, so I sat in the bath for a while. So it got to a point where the bath really wasn't helping me anymore, and I was getting like quite bad back pain. The back pain took over my actual contraction pain, because my contractions genuinely weren't that bad. Like I'm not even trying to sound like it wasn't hurting me, but to be fair, it didn't hurt as much as I thought it was going to. So for me, it didn't actually hurt, but it did, if that makes any sense. So I get out of the bath and I start to get ready in like comfy slouchy clothes, and my boyfriend's taking my bags downstairs for me. I didn't want to go to the hospital yet, so I was sat downstairs and my sister was timing the contractions, and then I was like, no, it's starting to get a little bit unbearable now. They're starting to get quite strong. And at this point my contractions were 5 minutes apart, but I still think they were only about 30 to 40 seconds long. So we rang the doctors anyway, and they told me it's probably best if you come in. If you come in and we don't think you're far enough gone, then we'll just send you home. It's easy and it's no harm or faff to us. So I was like, okay. So we come in to the hospital, and I had my birth in a sanctuary, which is like, it's a hospital room that's made to feel more homey, so the lights are really dimmed down. There's not actually, now that I think about it, there wasn't any medical equipment in there bar the blood pressure thing. I don't really know what it's called, that thing that they strap around your arm basically. That was literally it, and there was a birthing pool in there and all that good stuff. So I got there and they see me through, and they didn't send me home. She said, do you want to see how like dilated you are? And this was the part I was dreading, like the thought of someone putting their hand inside of you is like so embarrassing, but at the time you just don't really care. So she did, and that was like so uncomfortable. I'm not even gonna lie, that feeling is awful. Like, it is one of the worst things ever. I genuinely don't want to ever experience that again, but obviously if I have any more babies I will have no choice. But she felt, and I was 5 centimeters already, and she just kept praising me, saying, you've done so well to get to this point on your own as a first timer. So I was 5 centimeters, and she obviously kept me in, and I kept saying like, my back's really hurting a lot. She's like, how bad are your contractions? I said, my contractions aren't actually bothering me, my back is hurting me the most. And this was because of how Aurora was sat in my room. She wasn't actually sat correctly. She was head down and she was facing the right way, but she was just slightly twisted, which was causing me a lot of nerve pain in my back. So she said, do you want to go in the birthing pool? And I'd said I don't want to go in the birthing pool, but the second I got there I was like, yeah. So I got in the birthing pool, and I brought my boyfriend and my mum in with me. Those were the two people that I wanted in with me for support. My sister actually took me down to the hospital, and my boyfriend went with his mum because his mum was going to be bringing us home if I was allowed to go home. So I sat in the birthing pool, and my sister and my boyfriend's mum was sat waiting for us in the waiting room, and my mum phoned my dad, and my dad come down. So at this point, I think when I got to the hospital, it was like, I want to say about 4 in the afternoon. So I had been like dealing with this all day from 2 o'clock in the morning till 4-ish. I can't quite remember. I'm not going to pretend like I knew what time it was, because I was all over the shop. I did not know what was going on. So I was trying not to use any gas and air until I really, really needed it, because I didn't want to get used to it helping me and then it not help me anymore. So then my contractions started getting quite bad, and I'm like breathing on the gas and air, and I really don't like it. It's really drying my throat out, and I didn't really feel like it was doing anything. So I had no gas and air. I had no pain relief at all at this moment in time. So I'm in a lot of pain, and the birthing pool is not helping me anymore, like not at all. I'm sat in the birthing pool, and I turned around to my mum and I said, like, I don't know why, but I feel like I really want to push. So when the midwife come back in, my mum told her that, because I was a little bit like, didn't really know what I was talking about. So my mum said she feels like she like needs to push, and the midwife said if your body feels like it needs to push with your contraction. So I started doing that, and I was in a lot of pain, and it just kind of changes, like the contraction changes. So I was in so much like pain, but then out of nowhere the pain like moved kind of area, like I could feel my stomach like helping me, but I could feel it like more down below, like obviously in my vagina area I could feel like, yeah, it's time, I need to push. So I was in the birthing pool and I really it just was not helping. My back was absolutely killing me, and I told her this. So she went and got me a TENS machine, which just kind of, she basically put these pads on my back. It like feels like little pins like poking you in the back, like a massage. And when I got a contraction, I'd press the button and it would work a lot harder. And basically all that did was it sent signals to my brain to cancel out the pain kind of thing. And it honestly just felt like a little massage. It was really, really nice. So this was when I think I was 10 centimeters at this point. So no, I was 9 centimeters. So obviously from 5 to 9, well actually from nothing to 9 centimeters, I'd had no pain relief at all. So the TENS machine helped, but then towards like the end, I was in agony. Like my back was absolutely killing me, to the point where I couldn't even feel my contractions because my back pain was hurting me so bad. I basically said my sister had diamorphine when she was in labour with Willow, which is my niece, and I said, would I be able to have that, which was like a shot in your leg? And she said, yeah, if that's what you want, you can have it. So I had it, and that was like awful. That they like literally, it's not like a needle like where they like gently put it in and thingy. She like stabs this motherfucker in your leg and like squeezes it in. You don't realise it at the time, but afterwards I was like, what the hell? And I had like blood dripping down my leg too. I'm sat there and I'm in agony, and then basically my baby's heart rate started to drop, which is not what you want to hear when you're in labour, not at all. So like now I'm getting a little bit flustered, but I'm trying to stay calm because I really want to stay on top of my contractions and like just get her out. They kept trying to put me in squatting positions to push her out, to let the gravity help me to pull her down, which genuinely did help. However, I could not physically hold the squat because of my back pain. And there was one point when I was in the squat, I literally felt her head like down, and even the midwife said, oh my god, I think I could see her head. And I physically couldn't hold the squat anymore. I carried on through the contraction. I said, I'm really sorry, I'm not going to be able to do it. So I had to lie on the bed, which if you can help it, don't lie on the bed. The more you can stand up, the better it is, because gravity really does help to just pull baby down. But unfortunately for me, my back was just hurting too much to the point where I physically couldn't stand up. So baby's heart rate was dropping, and she got a secondary opinion, and then basically I had to move out of the sanctuary into a labour suite, which was really scary because I knew like at that point baby needs out. So I was like, my labour was completely stress-free up until this point, and I think at this point it may be like 12 o'clock at night to like 1 o'clock in the morning. It was somewhere around there. I don't know the 100% of the time because I really wasn't on my phone at all. So I've been wheeled into this suite, and I've got this doctor, and he had to basically snip down there to help her to come out, give her more room basically. And I had my waters broke as well, because my waters didn't break on their own. I think she said half of it did, but half of it didn't, and that feeling isn't very nice. It's not like the nicest feeling or the most comfortable feeling. But yeah, I had my waters broke for me, and that is just supposed to escalate labour, which it definitely did. But obviously now I'm in the labour suite, and baby's heart rate is dropping, and I can hear all the doctors talking about, I don't really know what they're talking about. They're mentioning all these like medical terms that I haven't got a clue. And then he's like, are you okay for us to use a suction cup? I really want baby out. So I was like, yes, do what you need to do. I want her out. I need to make sure she's fine. And he kept saying like, I need verbal consent. So I was saying yes, whatever, like I'll be saying whatever, and he'd be like, no, I need verbal consent, you need to tell me yes. I was like, yes, do what you need to do, whatever. And then basically he gets the suction cup, which is so weird. They literally put it in, and turn on the machine and it literally starts sucking like a hoover. And obviously this is on baby's head. So then they made me put my legs up on the little foot bar things, and that was awful for me because my back was hurting so bad. And they're like, right, your contractions come in, push, because obviously they've got all the machines attached to me now so they can see when my contractions coming. So I'm pushing, and as I'm pushing, he's like slightly tugging on this tube to help get baby out, because obviously her heart rate was dropping and they needed to get her out. So he's like tugging, and then literally all I remember feeling, he tells me to stop pushing, and how hard it is to stop pushing when everything in your body is telling you to push is so difficult. So I'm not pushing, I'm like trying to hold it, and that was a horrible feeling. And he snipped down there, and then with the next push, all I remember feeling is like this pop. Like, that's the only way I can explain it. It's like a pop, and then after that pop, oh my god, all the pain and tension from down below it just went away. I honestly thought she was out, and I was like, oh my god, is she out? And then my mum's saying, yeah, her head's there, we can see her head. I look up at Kane and he's like holding back tears. And with the next push, it's so weird, you literally just feel their whole body come out, but it is honestly the most magical feeling in the world. And the second she's out, I look up, because like I know I've done it, and I'm like, oh my god, like I've done it, like oh my god, I can't believe it. And Kane is crying and my mum is crying, because obviously at the end it got like quite stressful. Baby was in an emergency, she needed out, and I was stressing because I know she needed out. So then they put baby on my chest, and honestly my whole world just changed. And I really don't want to get upset, but like when you just feel so much love for someone, like it's like nothing I've ever experienced in my life. It's completely different love to anything else. So they put her on my chest, and then obviously because I had the snip thing down below, I had to have stitches, and they asked me, do I want to hold baby throughout the stitches? And I said no, not really, because I'm the kind of person that would like cling. So I really didn't want to like cling her. So Kane had her, so obviously he got to hold her for a while, and I was having stitches for no joke half an hour. Like I don't know how many stitches I had, but Jesus. So he had to put these two big needles either side, because obviously there's two sets of muscles up there, because he had to numb it, and they, no joke, they go inside of your vagina. So he's done that, and the pain of that needle, it literally feels like it's scraping on a bone. It was horrible. So he's doing the stitches, and he's saying, can you feel anything? And I'm saying no, all I can really feel is, I know this is so TMI, but it's like the thread coming through. I could feel that. And he was like, yeah, that's fine as long as you're not feeling any pain. And then because he was going for so long, he then said like, can you feel anything? And at this point I could, but I really didn't want them needles going back in. So I said, no, I can't feel anything. So I kind of just gritted through the pain. And then yeah, after he was finished doing that, I got to hold Aurora, and obviously my family was allowed in to see her. So my dad come in, and Kane's mum, and then my sister come in later on. And I was a bit scared to breastfeed because I didn't go to any of the classes, but me and Aurora worked really well together. She latched instantly. The only thing I was doing was I was holding her slightly wrong. So you're supposed to hold their body completely across you with their face like completely down on your breast, and so that their nose is on your breast and they won't suffocate you. Don't worry about that. It's just so that they can smell the milk. And then she latched, but I didn't have her held correctly, but none of the nurses actually told me, which I thought was quite bad. But she latched anyway. She was getting all of the, basically your first set of milk isn't actually milk, it's like, I can't remember what it's actually called, but it's really good for baby. I think you get that for about 3 days, and then your milk comes in. And I breastfed Aurora for 2 weeks, so I did what I could. But towards the end, she wouldn't sleep unless she was on my chest breastfeeding, and I was so poorly with not sleeping, because you're not allowed to sleep with baby in the bed. So I had to sit there awake, and it just completely took it out of me. I ended up being sick from lack of sleep, which wasn't good, because obviously, I don't know whether you've ever felt before, but when you're sick, like your body tenses. So I was scared that my stitches was gonna like rip apart. So yeah, that wasn't very good, but I did breastfeed and she latched really well, and I was so proud of myself. It was honestly one of the most proudest things I've ever done, giving birth and then breastfeeding as well. Then basically one thing that they do not tell you yet, like they say bring them big like nappy looking ass pads, so I did, and they don't tell you how much blood is actually gonna come. So I literally bled so much for the first 2 days. Like there was so much blood, and you have to like look out for blood clots. I actually didn't get any until my blood had basically stopped. So I bled for about 2 weeks, but the first 2 days were the worst, and then after that there was like, it was like normal period blood, but it just took a while to stop. And then as it started to stop, I was getting like blood clots, and they really knuckle down on blood clots. So if you have one bigger than a 50p piece, you are supposed to let them know, and I did have quite a big one and I did let them know. And then basically my health visitor come out to look at me, and it was fine. She wasn't really worried. She wanted to look at my stitches, but I didn't really feel comfortable with her looking at them. I was so tired and I just wanted to sleep, so I would breastfeed Aurora and then I would put her down in the cot, but I really couldn't sleep because it was so new to me, and hearing all of her little noises while she was asleep, I didn't want to miss anything, so I really couldn't sleep. I just kind of sat there staring at her, and my family had to go home because obviously they don't allow people to stay there until visiting hours. So obviously I got left on my own, and I again was just staring at her, and it was really hard for Kane to leave us because he really didn't want to. So I got moved to like the mother and baby unit upstairs, and I had 2 nurses help me. One of them pushed me up as I held baby, and the other person brought all my bags up, bless her. And we are sat, and then you get put in a room basically, and all you have is like a curtain, so you can hear all these babies crying around you, and a woman's brain is literally wired to wake up to a baby's cry. So I was getting no sleep at all. And you can definitely distinguish your own baby's cry to other babies' cries. So when Aurora would cry, I knew it was her. Believe you me, the first time I went to toilet, I was so scared to wait because it was like, it's supposed to sting, but I was really lucky and it did not sting at all. It might have been because of the numbing that I had. It didn't sting at all. But basically, you cannot wipe with tissue. You just can't. Basically, you're supposed to get like a squirty bottle of like with water in it, with warm water in it, and you basically just spray it as you wee, so it like takes away any stinging pain, and it just helps to clean as well. But what I used to do is just get some tissue and just tap. I never rubbed, just to pat away any water that was there or any leftover wee. Like, I know that's disgusting, but what can you do? Changing her poo for the first time was so scary too, because she's such a tiny little baby that I just didn't want to hurt her. But obviously I did it and I was fine. Aurora weighed £7 15 ounces, so she was quite a big baby, so she was nice and healthy. And that is basically everything. I got sent home, and then yeah, we're just one big happy family. Aurora is 5 months old now, 5 months and a week actually, yesterday. So yeah, that was literally everything. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. It was a little bit of a different one for me. I know it was a little bit TMI, but I honestly loved watching these videos when I was pregnant. So if you did enjoy this video, please let me know and leave a like down below and a comment to let me know that you enjoyed it. And don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more of me. Then please subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.